I have spent my whole life scared, frightened of things that could happen, might not happen. 50 years I spent like that, finding myself awake at 3 in the morning. But you know what? Ever since my diagnosis, I sleep just fine.
Okay.
I came to realize it's that fear that's the worst of it. That's the real enemy. So, get up. Get out in the real world.
Courage doesn't show up when life is calm and predictable. Courage shows up the moment your mind breaks, when your chest is tight, when the panic hits so hard you can't breathe, when the world tilts and your brain tells you to run. That's what makes Hank's collapse so real. A man who spent his life acting tough gets crushed, not by bullets, not by enemies, but by his own thoughts. And that's what people pretend they don't understand. The greatest battles you will ever fight will never be outside. They will always be inside your own head. Fear is the silent killer, and the only reason it keeps winning is because most people surrender long before the war even starts. But here's the truth no one wants to accept. Fear isn't the enemy. Fear is the mirror. Fear is the invitation. Fear is the exact moment life looks you in the eye and asks, do you want this or not? And most people fold. They fold because courage demands something they can't handle: pain. Courage demands you walk through the fire without knowing if you'll make it out alive. Courage demands you step into uncertainty instead of hiding behind excuses. Courage demands you stop being soft, stop being lazy, stop chasing comfort like a goddamn child begging for a warm blanket. Success is sweet, but the secret is sweat. And most people don't want to sweat. They want the finish line, not the miles. They want the reward, not the suffering. They want the transformation without bleeding for it. And that's why they stay weak. Laziness is the virus. Comfort is the coffin. And every day you stay in your comfort zone, you are burying your future with your own hands. People wait for courage to feel good. They wait for the fear to disappear. They wait for the perfect moment. That moment never comes. Courage is never comfortable. Courage never shows up when you're relaxed. Courage appears exactly when everything in your body tells you to quit. Courage is built in the moment you want to run but don't. Courage is built when your mind screams stop and you keep going anyway. That is the moment you evolve. There is a version of you that fear has been holding hostage for years. A version you've never met. A version that thinks clearly, moves boldly, and doesn't give a damn about who doubts them. But you will never meet that version until you walk straight toward the thing you've been avoiding. Avoiding fear keeps you ordinary. Facing fear makes you dangerous. And forget that soft quote, courage is the absence of fear. That's for fortune cookies and Instagram influencers. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's dragging fear by the throat and making it watch you win. Courage is making decisions fear doesn't approve of. Courage is moving with shaking hands. Courage is standing in the storm and refusing to kneel. Fear will not leave. Fear will not shrink. Fear will not fade. You get stronger. You get sharper. You get harder. And eventually, fear realizes it can't control you anymore.
I will not give my life for Joffrey's murder, and I know I'll get no justice here, so I will let the gods decide my fate. I demand a trial by combat.
There comes a moment in every person's life when silence becomes a prison. A moment where staying quiet feels like betrayal, not safety. A moment where you look at the life you're living and you finally see the truth. You have been acting small, walking soft, shrinking yourself just to make the world comfortable. That's exactly why Tyrion's speech hits so hard. It's the moment a man stops allowing people to define him. It's the moment he realizes the world will happily crucify you while expecting you to smile. And courage is the exact second you decide you're done playing their game. Courage isn't just facing fear. That's only the beginning. Real courage is when you turn fear into fire. Real courage is when you stop swallowing your voice and start speaking with your chest. Real courage is when you stop being polite with your potential. It is the moment you open your eyes and understand that you weren't born to tiptoe through life like you owe the world an apology for existing. Most people will die pretending they are fine, pretending they don't want more, pretending they are satisfied with a life that doesn't challenge them, doesn't excite them, doesn't scare them. They bury their hunger under routine and call it maturity. They bury their dreams under obligations and call it responsibility. They bury their truth under fear and call it being realistic. But courage is the exact opposite. Courage is the moment you stop pretending and start living. You want to know why courage is so rare? Because courage requires confrontation. You have to confront the people who underestimate you. You have to confront the reality you keep running from. You have to confront the lazy, soft version of yourself that keeps begging for an easy life. Courage is rebellion against weakness. Courage is rebellion against expectations. Courage is rebellion against the parts of you that want to stay comfortable and useless. Courage is also dangerous because the moment you choose courage, you can no longer hide behind excuses. The moment you choose courage, you accept responsibility for every step you take. And responsibility terrifies people more than fear ever will. It's easier to blame your parents, blame your environment, blame your circumstances, blame your past. But courage forces you to face the truth. If your life is going to change, it will be because you changed it. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to hand you the courage you refuse to build. Nobody is coming to apologize for what hurt you. You either rise or you rot. The moment you stop begging the world to treat you better is the moment you become unstoppable. Courage turns into rebellion the day you stop trying to fit in and start demanding more from yourself. Courage becomes lethal the day you stop fearing people and start fearing the idea of dying without becoming who you were meant to be. This is why warriors rise when the world pushes them down. This is why legends speak when everyone wants them silent. This is why courageous people walk into rooms like they belong there, because they know the truth. Courage isn't a feeling, it's a decision. A decision to stand tall even when your knees want to buckle. A decision to speak up even when your voice shakes. A decision to go forward even when everything in your life is trying to pull you backward.
You keep going! You run! 10 more steps! 10 more! 10 more! 10 more! Keep going! Don't quit! Give me your heart! You can! You can! 5 more! 5 more! Come on, Brock! Come on! Don't quit! Don't quit! Come on, Brock! 2 more! 1 more!
Let's go 50. Let's go 50. I don't have any more.
Look up, Brock. You're in the end zone.
That scene is the purest definition of courage you will ever witness. A man blindfolded, crawling across a field with another man on his back, legs shaking, lungs burning, body screaming for mercy, and still moving. That's courage. Not motivation, not hype, not some pretty Hollywood speech. Courage is when your body quits and your mind tries to quit with it, but you refuse to let either one control you. Courage is when you keep going, long after everything inside you begs you to stop. Most people think courage is something you show when life is easy. They think courage is something you feel when things are going well. They think courage is a moment of inspiration. They have no clue. Courage is suffering. Courage is sacrifice. Courage is choosing to move forward while dragging the weight of your disappointment, your fears, your failures, your insecurities, your past, and still telling yourself, one more step. Courage is when the world expects you to stay down, but you get up anyway. Pain is the birthplace of every courageous person you respect. Not success, not applause, not victory. Pain. Pain is the classroom where courage is taught. Pain is the forge where courage is built. Pain is the price you pay for stepping into a bigger life. That's why most people never become anything great. They avoid pain like it's a curse, when in reality, pain is the doorway. Pain separates the pretenders from the real ones. Anyone can talk, anyone can post motivational quotes, anyone can pretend they're tough when life is comfortable. But when life turns violent, when pressure hits, when everything starts breaking, that's when you find out who the hell you really are. Courage is not about feeling strong. It's about refusing to quit when you feel weak. Courage is not about winning every battle. It's about showing up for battles you don't want to fight. Courage is not about having perfect confidence. It's about moving with doubt strapped to your back. Courage means accepting that you will fail, that you will hurt, that you will bleed, and doing it anyway. Because deep down, you know there is something worse than pain. The regret of knowing you could have become more, but you chose comfort instead. You want to know why courage transforms people? Because courage forces you to dig into parts of yourself that comfort never touches. Comfort turns you soft. Comfort kills ambition. Comfort makes you fragile. Comfort is the enemy. Pain is the teacher. Pain is the path. Pain is the proof that you are still in the fight. Every time you push through pain, your courage grows. Every time you refuse to quit, your courage sharpens. Every time you choose discomfort over excuses, You become someone even your past self would be intimidated by. Most people stop at 40% of their potential, the moment it hurts. True courage lives beyond the pain. True courage begins where comfort ends. True courage is the moment your legs shake, your breath burns, your vision blurs, and you still whisper to yourself, keep going. That's where greatness hides. That's where transformation lives. That's where courage becomes lethal. There comes a moment in every warrior's life when the noise fades, the excuses die, and the truth stands there naked. Your life will not change unless you do. Courage isn't a gift, it's a choice, a decision. A decision to stop living like you're made of glass. A decision to stop folding every time life hits you. A decision to stop kneeling to fear, laziness, comfort, and weakness. A decision to finally step into the version of yourself you keep imagining, but never committing to. Courage is the day you stop hiding. Courage is the day you stop lying to yourself. Courage is the day you stop negotiating with the old you, the weak you, the scared you, the tired you. Courage is the moment you draw a line in the sand and declare, enough. I'm done living small. I'm done living scared. I'm done running from the man I'm supposed to become. You want a bigger life? Then act like it. You want respect? Earn it. You want transformation? Bleed for it. Nobody is going to hand you courage. Nobody is going to save you from your fear. Nobody is going to fight your battles for you. The world does not reward the comfortable. It rewards the courageous, the ones who move forward even when everything inside them wants to quit. Every courageous person you admire once stood where you're standing right now, scared, uncertain, exhausted, doubting themselves. The only difference is they didn't bow. They didn't run. They didn't give fear the authority to shape their destiny. They fought back, and that's why their names live longer than their pain. So this is your moment, your turn, your fight, your story. The world won't remember how afraid you were. It will remember that you moved anyway.